Item 6, appearance of interested citizens. Members of the public may address the City Council on items that are of interest that are within the city's jurisdiction. Individuals addressing general comments are encouraged to limit their statements to 3 minutes. I do have some speaker cards here from some individuals who wanted to discuss an item that is item number 12, but in an effort to get them home before their curfew expires, we could go ahead and take these comments under item number 6 if you would like to. And if you'd like to all come up as one group, that's fine, or you can come up individually. I have Abigail, Emily, Rayleigh, and Marquez. So if you could all step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record. I need the phonetic spelling of these.
Good evening, members of the council. My name is Mary Cruz Cervantes. I am part of SASC, and I am in support of the tobacco-free ordinance.
Thank you.
Good evening of the members of the council. I'm Abigail Ligatero from SASC in support of the tobacco-free ordinance.
Good evening, council. My name is Rayleigh Shellhorn, and I am a member of SASC Youth. I am in support of the tobacco-free park ordinance.
Could you tell us what that acronym stands for? SASC.
SASC stands for Student Advocates for Sutter County.
Thank you very much. All right.
Through the mayor, I'd like to ask him a question.
All right, you may.
Each one. Aha! You didn't get away that easily. Over time, I had been involved with the SASC Youth and stuff. I'd like them to say what schools you go to, what perhaps grades you're in, and the fact that youth are involved so much in this concern. I'd like people to know that.
I come from Berry School. I'm in 8th grade.
Thank you.
I go to Gray Avenue Middle School, and I am also in 8th grade. I go to Butte Vista, and I am also in 8th grade.
So I just want the community to know that the 8th graders are really thinking, and they get it. We want to give them credit for what they're thinking.
All right. Well, thank you for your comments. Next is Heidi Kitchens. If you would like to step to the podium, give us your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Heidi Kitchens. I live on 1607 Spyglass Drive. And a little bit about myself. I moved to Yuba City 10 years ago to go to nursing school. And since then, I've worked in Yuba City as a nurse. Currently, I'm a surgical nurse. I'm married and I have 1 child. So I'm here today because I'm concerned about safety on my street. I live on the corner of Pebble Beach and Spyglass. And the problem is speeders. People absolutely fly down my street. They drive through the bike lane. The Pebble Beach has a slight curve, and instead of driving the curve, they drive through the bike lane. And this past Saturday, there was an accident. And do you mind if I show you pictures?
That's fine.
Okay. And also there's a petition from my neighbors also voicing their concerns about the street safety. So that accident was largely due to speeding. The driver drove through my fence, through my yard, and parked her Honda in my neighbor's bedroom. So, big concern. All of the residents are really concerned about the safety. I did send an email to Ben Moody, who works at Public Works, and he said they are considering adding stop signs. I'm not a passive person. I don't want to consider anything. I don't want to be complacent. I want to be aggressive. I want stop signs. I want speed bumps. that's a very busy street. There's lots of pedestrians. It's a residential neighborhood, and there's dog walkers, there's kids. I'm a mom. That's my number one goal is I want a safe street. And I feel like stop signs and paint on the ground is really cheap, and it could be effective. So, oh, my 3 minutes is up. So that's all I want. I just want to be aggressive. Just call somebody, email somebody. Please help me make my neighborhood safe. Just for all the kids and all my neighbors. That's all. Thank you. Thank you for letting me talk.
Ben, did you want to make any comments on this, or since you're close by, or put you on the spot here?
Yes, you're welcome. That was at least a positive Comcate ticket request there. I just wanted to add that Public Works, it's a trouble area for us down there in the Walton area. It was part of that annexation in 2001 that was developed in the county. And it was developed with older standards, big wide streets, and long straight collectors that a lot of cars get up to speed. In addition to that, it's also serviced by Sutter County Sheriff's Department, which doesn't have a traffic enforcement unit. And so we're kind of in this bind where a lot of times where we could fix something with enforcement action, we don't have that resource that we have in other parts of the city. But it's good and bad timing. We recently just conducted a traffic study on Pebble Beach because we're looking at adding a crosswalk, stop signs at Pebble Beach and Portola Valley there at the park to make it safer, and then also Alicia at the curve. But there's additional streets in that area, Joseph and Sessler, that we've had requests, Yolanda, all of them, speed bumps, speeding, and different issues. And we're always hesitant on the stop signs because we found there's guidance in different manuals that putting a stop sign for speeding doesn't necessarily work. And a lot of times what happens is people just get used to rolling through the stop signs, and then it causes a potential problem for an accident because people think they're going to stop and then they don't. And so we're real hesitant to put stop signs in when they're not warranted. In this area, we think there is a need for them because of the curve, the sight distances, and the speeds and the adjacents to the park. And so Public Works is planning to bring an item back to you in the next month or so, kind of identifying multiple areas in that area with stop signs and crosswalks.
Yes.
And I just want to thank Heidi for having the courage first to come forward with a complaint that is near and dear to everyone in our city. Having spent about the majority of my 32 years as a police officer, 15 on a motorcycle enforcing traffic laws, I know how important it is to the quality of life, and certainly to our neighborhoods, just for the safety and the sanctity that our neighborhoods provide all of our families, that enforcement be aggressive. Yuba City is down on enforcement. We're down some 3,000 tickets. We need to have a more aggressive approach within the community. Paint is cheap, and I agree with you, but what we need are citizens that comply with the law all over the city. And you, as a surgical nurse, probably see your fair share of people come through in emergency cases that are a result of poor driving habits within our community. It's a blessing nobody got hurt when a house is hit, but I think that everything that we can do on a more of a community level enforcement also helps those outlying areas. We don't have that responsibility of enforcement in that area, but this council is committed to trying to gain that area as one of our, the last leg that we have to go out and provide full city services. It's not going to stop the problem short, though, of aggressive enforcement within our community.
Councilmember Gill.
I also want to say thank you for coming out. I know it takes a lot of time away from your family and getting everybody to sign these petitions and bringing it in front of us. Without you not bringing it, it's kind of a lot of times we don't know about it, and we can't fix what we don't know. It's very easy for us to be up here and say, it would have been nice if the city would have designed those streets, and it's not your fault, it's not our fault. That was something that the county did. But needless to say, it's something that's done. It's something that we're going to deal with, and something that we have to deal with because we can't keep pushing that buck down the street. But I know you mentioned that we're about a month away from really going out and doing anything, and I know it's patrolled by the sheriffs. Can we not, in the meantime, put one of those speedsters things that clocks your speed? For number one, for two reasons. For number one, it slows the people down, but for number two, it should be able to tell us, in a certain period of time, what the actual speeds in that area are. And if this is just one of the first accidents that parked the car in the bedroom, there may be something else. Even though it's in the sheriff's, can we not have our police department put one of those machines out there?
We definitely can.
Yeah.
Typically in Sutter County area, Sutter County has a unit that will request. In the police department, we also put it on the request list, and then we have 2 of them with the police department, and they rotate them through the city, kind of based on those troubled areas, on 2nd Street and Jamie and Shanghai Bend. But I definitely, in that meantime, we could get something out there.
That'd be great.
Why? Go ahead.
Yeah, and the way you just said, Sutter County has some. Why don't we just request that they use one of their units in their jurisdiction? See if they will do that, and just gentlemen's and ladies' requests from the council, and see if they'll go forward with that. I know in the past the county, we were told that stop signs are not supposed to be used for slowing of traffic. Sometimes we have said, okay, in certain areas that's we step aside and not do that, but there have been areas to where they have been effective on slowing traffic down enough to where the accidents did not occur, even if they roll through. So there has been some effective things in the past that have been done. But in the case of roads adjacent to a community neighborhood park, you mentioned a little bit. I know there's one out there. That's more than good justification to put stop signs, flashing things in the road, and what you're speaking of doing in the future. Need to get it done. Even a main route such as Pebble Beach and some of those that are not exactly next to the park, we already know that community utilizes crossing that wide highway almost along there to get across to go to their park. And so it's very dangerous for them. And so I think we definitely need to take the people consideration, human consideration of walking to the parks and in theirs, because I know it's very dangerous in that community, man. They're walking all over the place, all times of the day, evening and morning. So
Right.
I think we need to move forward with that.
Thank you for your comments.
Through the mayor, I just want to thank Heidi. It's really, really important that the citizens play a huge part in letting us know what's going on out there. We can't be everywhere, so I really, really do appreciate you coming in and talking about this. That residential area is considerably busy. I've been out there. I have relatives out there. I'm out there quite a bit, and the children are all over the place. So it is a very, very busy neighborhood. I would recommend that we seriously look at the wide speed bumps as a resolution, especially around the park area. As far as getting the timer, the speed, I would see if we can put an urgent on that one, because we do have it on the 2nd Street and so forth, but in the residential areas we have kids. We have kids on cycles. We have walking across. It's more concerning.
All right, thank you. I can attest to, I used to live on Nan Drive, and the city did the speed survey there along Nan Drive and literally clocked speeds at 75 miles an hour down Nan Drive in a residential neighborhood. And so it is, and there's some long streets like Nan and Pebble Beach and different ones, and those are dangerous streets if you're trying to cross them. So whatever we can do to help make that area safer, I would implore you to do so. Thank you.